Well, hello. Can everybody hear me okay? Hi. Hello, hello. Got to check my sound. It's been kind of crazy. My sound kind of does whatever it likes. Oh, yes, we're okay here. Turn it up a little bit. Does that work for people? Well, blessings, blessings, blessings to you all. Blessings to you all. How is everybody today? Are we ready to have a little fun, as they say? Let me go ahead and open the other stream. It is Thursday. It is time for Hot Topics. That's where we all get together and we talk about what is going on in the news. Maybe we do some blitzes. Anyway, there's a lot going on right now, and we are here to share in the fun. Joel Tilson is here. He is the official floor director. Thank you, Joel, for being here. And of course, welcome to Big Mama Becky 30 Ross. You were the first person here. Early voting in Indiana, and my friend is picking me up tomorrow so that we can cast our votes for Kamala Harris. Yay, and Tim Walz. Good for you. 19 days to go. It looks like the early voting is favoring the Democrats, so we like that. We like that. Well, we always have an advantage. We always have that blue wall in places like Pennsylvania. We're seeing that a lot more women are voting than men. That's certainly a good sign. And hi, Anthony Rizzo, Goddess Val, Wendy Burt. Hello. Hello to the beautiful Wendy. Of course, we have the official hat of the Oracle of Whimsy, beautifully designed by Wendy. As you can see, it has all the accoutrements that come with being the Oracle of Whimsy. We've got our herbs, our kitty cat, our moon magic, our feather. This feather is kind of like a crow's feather. It reminds me of Shylock, our friendly neighborhood crow. Anyway, good to see you all. Yes, Hamas leader is dead. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Dun dun da 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 da. I did a video earlier today, and people mistakenly thought that I was friends of Elon Musk because the IDF gave my proposal to him when he came to Israel on October 27th. That's I didn't have any control over whether or not the IDF gave my proposal to Elon Musk. A lot of people were like, "Man, why did you do this?" No, I gave it to the IDF as a peace proposal, and it was the decision of the IDF to give the proposal to Elon Musk, and because he, even though politically, I think he's got some crazy ideas. He was brave enough to go into a war zone. October 27th was only a couple weeks after October 7th, wanting to see. He was disturbed by the footage of kids getting killed. So whether we love him or hate him, he loves kids, and he's got like 13 of them, 12 or 13 of them. So he wanted to do something that was like a Marshall Plan. And so Netanyahu, the IDF had sat around talking about my rebuild. Like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think of the data? So they were all sharing the data. And then when Elon Musk showed up on the 27th, I think it was Netanyahu's decision, show it to him. Because he said, can you do a rebuild? Do you have anything that, like, can we talk about rebuilding Gaza? Can we talk about what it's going to be like when this nightmare ends? And they happened to have my proposal on the desk because they had been talking about it, because they got it on the 21st. And then they all sat around talking about it that week. So, and it was only 2.5 pages long. So so they said, they needed to give him something, and they needed to give him something quick and simple and fast. And the data had been coalesced down to 2.5 pages. And so Netanyahu said, show it to him, said to the other IDF people, show him what we've been looking at. And so here's Dr. Whimsy Anderson's coalescing of data on the rebuild. And he became very happy and excited because it was very close to the Marshall Plan. And he loves World at War. He listens to history. He's a huge fan of the history of war, etc. And he said, man, if you do something like what they did, the United States and Japan, you could probably have peace in a very short amount of time. And so they handed him the Oasis One protocol, and he got a big smile on his face. And Netanyahu said, "Oh, you like this? You like my proposal, huh? You like my proposal?" And I signed rights away. I took no money, and I said, "It's your proposal. It's blood money. I don't want money for it. This is just the data I've collected. I am an anthropologist. I'm not just another pretty face." And I wanted to give respect for the Oasis programs that had been developed in Israel by people that are far more involved in this than I am. I simply was the person that coalesced all the data and how I imagined it would look, so that the IDF had something simple to work with that was condensed, because there was thousands of pages of data and they needed someone to just get it to a coalesced. And so it was a nice coalesced version of the rebuild that they could give to people that wanted to invest in the rebuild. And so everyone is involved, conservatives and liberals alike. It's not just Elon Musk. There are a lot of liberals that are very excited about Oasis One because it's what's going to happen, the end of World War II. I do think that the people with the money that want to build the nightclubs and hey, hot property, like Donald Trump was talking about the real estate. Hey, it's got great real estate here. You've got the parasites, but you also have people that want to build kibbutzes and they want to build educational programs. And so I think that they will come to a middle ground. I think that you do need big money. Let's face facts. We're talking about $40 billion worth of, the rebuild's going to cost about $40 billion. So we're going to have big money coming in. That's just the way things are. But we also want to have visionaries and peacekeepers, because ultimately it's a peace proposal. And I think that we will meet in the middle, just like they did when they rebuilt Japan after World War II. So it's not that Elon and I hang out and have cocktails or anything like that. It's just that he happened to. Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe that it just happened. I was praying very hard and crying to the universe. This has to happen. This is the rebuild. I know this is the rebuild. And I was screaming at the universe, you need to make this happen. And so the richest person alive had it in his hand a week later. So yeah, bring in the big money. Of course, they want to put in the subway system, which is going to have the boring. It's kind of funny. They were joking that he was mad at Hamas. Hey, those tunnels were my idea. But no, I'm not somebody who is coming out endorsing his right-wing policies. I do respect anybody that would be willing to fly their plane into a war zone. That takes some cojones. And the fact that he wants peace, I respect that as well. But there's plenty I don't respect. Anyway, so that's how Elon Musk got involved in the rebuild. Not because he and I are kissy face. I won't be having his next baby, contrary to the rumors. Yes, little too. Those eggs dried out a long time ago. Yes. Other people shake hands. Can I pay you with a baby? Yes, I guess he offered to give Taylor Swift a baby recently. No, so that's the story. And that was how I do data collection. I'm a real scientist. This is my fun job, but I am an anthropologist, and I did do real data collection. And and that was it. I had been looking at the data for a really long time. I was looking at studies that were coming out of what Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates were trying to do to diffuse extremism, and looking at some of the studies in Israel on integrated communities. And I knew I didn't have a lot of time because it was a war. So I said, I've been collecting data for a really long time. I better get this, I better get this thesis to them now. I can't be, well, I could perfect it, maybe spend another 6 months. I didn't have time to do that. So um, I just took the data that I had, and to the best of my ability, I got it to them. And that was that. That was how the Oasis One program was born. And there is a real Oasis I think it's the Negev, which is a kibbutz that Arabs and Jews share, which was the original Oasis. And a lot of my data is based on those programs. So that was that. And, I think that people assumed that because Elon was the first person to publicly come out and endorse um, the Oasis One, that people thought that I was this right-wing nut or whatever. Jonathan Concris, who is the spokesman for the IDF, had sent me a note saying that the IDF was ready. We're ready now. And so he was the first person, Jonathan. Thank you to Jonathan Conricus. Conricus. He was the first to take it, review it, and then pass it on to the IDF War Cabinet for me. Thank you to him for doing that. And then I sent it directly to the War Cabinet myself, the IDF, and to the Knesset. And that's basically how it all got put together. And that's the story and the glory. Please don't hate me. I have no control over the fact that Netanyahu gave it to Elon Musk. But if Elon Musk wants to invest in it, then that's good. Because we're going to need a lot of money to rebuild Gaza. Let me tell you that right now. So yes, Hamas leader is dead, and it goes back to the 7 phases, right? The 5 phases that we had talked about, that I had sent trying to calculate. When you're looking at war and you're trying to do something as esoteric as how do we have the least amount of people die? Because we don't want people to die. And so if you're just sitting around and you're doing war games and you're building a strategy, as an anthropologist, and you're sitting with your team trying to figure out, well, how can we keep people from dying? You do your game theory, right? You deconstruct wars. How do wars happen? How do you deconstruct a war? Well, the first phase would be you want to stop the fighting as fast as possible. So that gets us to phase 1. And then phase 2 was you exchange the hostages, and then you would release Hamas. That the Hamas is in jail, those people that were in jail, etc. And then a host country would agree to take them. Algeria, I think, was willing to take some of them. I think Turkey as well. And then the phase 3 was the rebuild. And so I sent this also to the War Cabinet based on the game theory, based on the work that my team had done. And we also sent, so this was just to get it okayed by the Israelis, by the IDF. And then they modified it a little bit. They worked with the basic principles. And then, of course, I sent to the State Department, and Biden was able to take a look. And from that, they developed the 3 phases: a ceasefire, exchange of hostages, and rebuild. The 4th and 5th stages, which weren't public for obvious reasons, were that Putin would eventually be isolated. Most likely he would be contained or taken out by his own leadership, I'm assuming. Probably put under house arrest, which is what they did to Yeltsin and Gorbachev, where they basically isolated them. It's highly unlikely that Putin is going to be delivered to the West. Certainly, we'd like to see that. Those of us that are in the West, we want him tried for war crimes. But you can look us above correspondence by the June 3rd. There was more correspondence, but and then the 5th was that I went, game theory. I went over it 100 million times. There simply was no way to make a deal with Iranian leadership because Iranian leadership was too committed to wiping out the West. And so if you look at the deal, the Abraham Accords, Trump was going to get them on their knees and then we were going to bring them into the Abraham Accords. Well, you need to go back and look at your great game theory analyst, because the only thing that would do when I looked at it, when my team looked at it, was that it gave them a bunch of money to build up their weapons and then attack the West and take them out in 3 years. So it would only result in arming our enemies. The only way that you could bring Russia into trade and Iran into trade is if you had new leadership. And so that was why I made a 6th note here. Don't make a deal with Iran and Russia for normal relations in exchange for profits from the Abraham Accords. And then some of you may have seen Trump, where he claimed he had been in Gaza, saying in that interview that he wanted to bring Iran into the Abraham Accords. So I'm glad that I got this. I stated my case in December so that they could see that the full that from a game theory perspective, it wouldn't work. It would actually, the first time we had problems with a country that hostile to the United States and the state of Israel, you don't want to be bringing them in and pouring money in, and then say they build themselves up and declare war on you the day after. It's just, it doesn't work unless you have phases 4 and 5. You have to dismantle and start with new leadership that genuinely is willing to work with the United States and the West. So that was the story of game theory, war games, and why I had sent on the 5 phases. And of course, they modified the phases, and that was how we were able to hear Biden speak on them. Very interesting, very fun. But now, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here now that Sinwar is gone? Well, do we go back to the 3 phases? Can we now? Who wants to take on Sinwar's position? Who wants to take it on? And is that next person going to be willing to get to ceasefire, and Hamas willing to go to a host country? Because they can't stay. You can't do a rebuild so long as you have a hostile military there. So are we back to phase 1, trying to get to ceasefire with whatever is left of Hamas? Yeah. So that is that. Other fun things in the news right now. I'm seeing some of, good. Be sure and tell us where you voted. And, if you voted already, if you voted early, and, hi, Florida, and what state. I'm always happy to hear that somebody in Arizona has voted for Harris. somebody in Michigan or Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, bring it on, Texas. Always makes me feel good when I hear that. Yeah, Oasis plan is a win-win for all. And, Japan is not a perfect society. Plenty of depressed, miserable people in Japan, but for the most part, it's a pretty great country. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do the empath prayer, and then we will go ahead and we will blitz, blitz, blitz away. Be sure and share, like, subscribe if you can, because it really does help to build up the channel. Okay, if you know the empath's prayer, please say it with me. If you need to receive a healing at this time, or if you know anybody else who needs to receive a healing at this time, please give us your name or the name of the person. Doesn't have to be a last name if you want to respect their privacy, but so that we can include them in the prayer today. Last, I want to make a quick announcement about our book of the month. We do have a new book of the month. It's written by Diane Wing, The True Nature of Energy. The True Nature of Energy, Transforming Anxiety into Tranquility. That is our new book of the month. You can get it on several different websites. I do use Amazon. If you don't, I'm sure there's other places you can get the book. Very interesting. I tend to find that my energy is all over the place. And when we can understand how energy works, we can harness it, we can direct it. Hopefully, we can be a lot more effective in our goals. So that is our book of the month. And I just realized you can't see it. Okay, now you can see it. Yeah. So, so please give us the names of those people you want us to pray for, and then we will include you in today's prayers. All right. Without further ado, let's do the empath's prayer. Say it with me if you like. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those people that are receiving healing at this time, we ask that you and your loved ones receive the blessings and the healings that you seek, that you receive a perfect healing. And together as a community, again, we say, Amen. Amen. All right, let's do some blitzes. Blitz, blitz, blitz away. Yeah? Are we ready to blitz, blitz, blitz away? Okay, let's do it. So, first question is coming from Joel. When will Hamas leave Gaza? When will Hamas leave Gaza? Good question. Biden is actively working to create peace. Now is a great time for ceasefire. Now is a great time for ceasefire. We have the King of Cups, the great mediator. This is something that Biden really wants before he leaves office, is to secure this peace deal. King of Cups, a water sign. The opposition is the King of Swords, Trump. So Trump does not want peace. I don't know why. You would think that they want to go in and do the rebuild, right, and then make their millions, right? So you have this Biden versus Trump. Also, the King of Swords is the war king. It could be just those people. There's people in this world that just don't want peace. They don't want peace. But you have those who want peace, the bridge over troubled water, versus the military guy who has the sword and he wants to fight. And the hope and fear at this time is Ace of Wands. It can be an aggressive card. It's also a 30-day period, and the final outcome is large amounts of money going into Gaza. It has to be, we have to be realist about it. The capitalist, you have to get, if you want to get something, you have to give something. And if people, they, maybe a person is both. They're idealistic. They believe that they want to be part of this rebuild, but they also want to know that they're investing in something that's not going to go up in smoke in another 5 years. So we pulled double aces. Within 30 days, we see money going towards the rebuild. Over the issue of Biden, here's the peace deal. You can see signing of a contract, real estate, and the opposition over Trump is a new beginning awaits Trump. And the hope and the fear over the next 30 days, the experts are hammering out the deal. And the final outcome over the Ace of Pentacles is the Sword of Truth. Within 3 to 4 weeks, we could be seeing them moving towards a rebuild, which means we could get to ceasefire. I think Sinwar was the main person that refused to do it. And we're going to see movement in the next 3 to 4 weeks, according to those cards, because Pentacles are weeks. And you have this contract coming in 3 weeks, the Master's coming in, hammering it out, 3 to 8 weeks. It seems to be something that's Biden's legacy. I think people could be accepting also in the next 3 weeks that we're looking at a Harris presidency, which means that they have to work with Harris, whether they want to or not. And, you're a realist. Say they wanted to go with Trump. Some of the business people wanted to go with Trump. Well, now they're going to have to work with Harris. Okay, so that's good. It means that Biden is going to be working on that peace proposal before he leaves office. Next question is coming from the beautiful Terry Course. Hi, Terry. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Where will Musk be when Trump loses the election? It's all theater. He'll work with Harris. He'll have a temper tantrum like a little kid. And then he'll go and meet with her and, okay, what do you want me to do? All right, I'll pay it. Oh, it's really hard though, because you're putting up too many roadblocks and it makes it harder for me to do business. And I want to have control without I'll do it. It's like having to rein in a 7-year-old kid. They're not against him. He does really great stuff. He's doing a lot for communications. But he doesn't want to pay his taxes and he doesn't want to be told no. He's like a little kid. And if he can have a useful idiot like Trump come in so that he doesn't have to pay his taxes and manipulating people, I don't think he necessarily is right or left. He just wants to do whatever the hell he wants. And if he thinks that this group will support him, he'll go with that group because he doesn't want to pay his taxes and he doesn't want to be told no. He doesn't want California regulation, right? All right, I'll do it. I'll work. He also will come in and say, if you look at his tweets, well, that was a smart thing Harris said. I'm surprised at how well she did. He knows I'll probably have to work with her. Okay, I'll do it. But let's see about Musk, how Musk is going to handle Trump losing, because it's looking pretty bad for Trump. If you look at the early voting, when they ask people who are leaving in the early voting, who'd you vote for? Most are saying Harris. So it's not looking good, the exit polls. The exit polls are looking pretty bad if you saw Midas Touch today. Something like, what is it, 60% of the voters in Pennsylvania early voting are women. Senior women who remember before it was legal to have an abortion, how many of their friends got sick, died, went to Mexico. Trump is not doing well. But let's take a look at how Musk feels once the election goes to Harris. Still got to go out and vote, though. I think it's going to be a landslide. I don't think it's going to be as close as people think. All right, Mr. Musk, how are you going to handle it? The bridge over troubled water. He will make nice. He will make nice. There she is. They worked together better than people realize. It's not that bad between these two. 10 of Pentacles, they have a legacy together because he's got so many defense contracts. But it doesn't look that much animosity. King of Cups is moving in with High Priestess. So it's smoother waters. Look, ultimately he's a businessman. You want to continue to piss her off, or do you want to have more business? Do you want to continue to have contracts with the Fed? You better get along with me, because I'm going to be here for the next 8 years. This guy's not stupid. All right. I guess it's you and me for the next 8 years. I'll work with her. Right? The King of Cups comes in like a bridge over troubled water. I'm bringing you roses, right? Like all of a sudden it's, hey, we're buddies, remember? And he's addressing the High Priestess. This is the equivalent of like the Emperor. This is the female president here. 10 of Pentacles. We've got water under the bridge. Come to Mamala. We have a great mental conversations. So I'm gonna make you pay your taxes. I know. You're gonna have to answer for you being kissy faced with Putin. You didn't actually do anything where I can charge you, but I'm pissed. Well, I wanted peace because I figured if we ended the trade war, it would be better for my business. Well, you're going to have to work with me. So we have this scholarship happening between them where it's water under the bridge. You got me for the next 8 years. Talk to me. How can we work together? So hermit means that there's this intellectual where he's able to have intellectual conversations with her, and she's able to listen. And the star is over the King of Cups. He could eventually become a huge fan of hers, and he gives her a lot of work to do. 10 of Wands, let's get to work. Yes, the SEC is coming after you. You will have to pay taxes. You are going to have to play nice. You're not in trouble enough. You're not going to prison, but you're going to be humbled, and you're going to have to pay some taxes. And then over the family issue, sobriety and hard work. They both have a lot of work ahead of them because they have a vision of what they both want to accomplish over the next 8 years. Heartbreak. He's controlled. He's controlled. This guy is controlled. He has more ideas. He has more people he's working with, more great ideas. She has great international relationships. We have a lot of work to do internationally. There she is, always presenting as the Queen of Wands. I accidentally said she was a Gemini because she's the Queen of Swords, which is an air sign. She's actually a Libra, which is also an air sign, Queen of Swords. But she always presents as the Queen of Wands, this strong my way. And I think that in that sense, they're well matched because they both have this strong kind of aspect. Regarding his heartbreak, it's because he was foolish, he gets controlled by her. And nobody wants Mamala's coming. And so it's, I'll make pretty, I'll be a good little soldier. It's more that, but I don't see necessarily prison. I see he's going to be taxed. He's going to be controlled. He's going to have to play nice with the SEC. but not enough to go to prison. He has a right to support Trump if that's who he supports. Um, and of course he doesn't want to pay his taxes, and of course he does. No, he's not fleeing. I can check that also, but I don't. He'll play nice. King of Cups. King of Cups is not fighting. King of Cups is well. That's who he is. He's a flirt. Hey, Whimsy, love your rebuild. Right? It's more like that. He charmed the pants off of anybody, right? So fleeing Kamala, no. He's a King of Cups is a charmer. King of Cups brings flowers and pearls. Will he flee? No, he's got the star over him. He'll play pretty. The truth. They have honest, real conversations. The sun comes out. It's all major arcana. Final outcome for him. His wish is granted. She gives him a lot of creative freedom that he did not anticipate. And he's very pleased that despite the fact that there have to be rules, Elon, there's going to have to be rules in the Playhouse. It's kind of like Maya Rudolph's impersonation of Mamala. But and this fear that, oh, she's here and she's going to control the romper room. But then when he gets there, you're going to clean up the paint set when you're done. But have fun. And I love your ideas. And he's like, really? So he gets his wish, 9 of Cups. It's like a free creativity, but she's able to work with them. I know that's not what people, well, he'll probably go back to being a liberal since none of it's real anyway. It was all about him wanting to get to Mars. Trump is a useful idiot. It was just, can I use this guy to get what I want? That's really the bottom line. And having a real heart-to-heart conversation with her, like the one he had with Obama. He had great conversations with Obama. Where he doesn't have to play an idiot, where he can have an actual intellectual conversation with an intellectual equal, would probably be refreshing. He's afraid that she's going to lock him up and take away the keys, and she's not going to do that. She's going to give him very strict rules about what you can and can't do. But within that framework, she will do a lot to promote innovation during her presidency, particularly green innovation. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Okay, yeah, he's going to have to play pretty. King of Cups, man. King of Cups, yeah. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay thee down. He's ready to make pretty with those cards. Joel Tilson asks, North Korea rattling swords again. Yes, we're looking at international disturbances to test Kamala, right? To see if Kamala is up for the fight, right? Just like when Joe Biden said that Obama would be tested. Gird your loins, right? He's going to be tested. This is what they always do when a new president comes in. They want to see what they can get away with. And so she's going to see what he gets away with. North Korea is going to see what they can get away with. And let's just see how this plays out. Blowing up bridges that bring resources to you from the West when your people are starving is not a smart idea. I don't know. It's like you're not hurting the South Koreans. You're hurting yourself. The trade routes. He blew up the trade routes. Who do you think is going to suffer? Them or you? You think that they need trade with North Korea? What are they going to get? Diseases? How many different types of bugs can you export? I mean, come on now. It's North Korea. The people are starving. You need that. You need South Korea more than they need you. So did you ever see that SNL skit on being a worker in China? Lice is the best bug. That's how hard it is to work in China. Best bug. Lice, best bug. Right? You Americans don't have a clue what we do to produce your stuff. Oh, you don't like the new iPhone? You understand what is sarcasm? was a really funny sketch. So that's what he did. He or his doppelganger. I mean, a lot of people say that he was killed years ago, and who the hell knows who's in power now? His crazy sister, evidently. But yeah, he's blowing up the trade routes where he gets aid from South Korea. Okay. The world is watching. The world is watching. The opposition, justice. His foolishness comes back on him. It's like the kid that gets angry at his mother and he destroys all of his own toys. And then he says, "Could I have a new Lego set?" Did you think you were hurting me or hurting yourself when you destroyed all the new toys I gave you? I mean, this is the rationale of a very young person. So peace will come to Korea. They will be united. But you also have to ask yourself, does South Korea want to be united? Do they want to absorb millions of North Koreans who may have strange ideas about the West and even be downright hostile to the West? But you have the world, you have justice, you have aid, and you have the Ten of Cups. So it's auspicious. And it could just be the desperation of a dying regime, that he is desperate because he feels fenced in and controlled, and he knows, or she knows, or whoever the hell's in charge. I'm still not convinced it was him. It's him. He has this feeling of being fenced in. And you have these academics, they are slowly dismantling him and his regime. Even China, who gives aid to them, is suffering. A heavy load lay ahead for them. And King of Swords, there could be a military reaction, but I don't see all-out war. I think that North Korea will fall, but I think that the South Koreans do not want them coming in and taking over North Korea. We don't want these crazy people coming into South Korea. Stay in North Korea. We'll send you aid, and then slowly maybe we'll give you a couple visas. They don't have the wherewithal to take in this kind of aid, but a slow returning of normalizations could happen in the next couple of years. I think he's desperate, and I think that this has to do with the fact that they are paranoid, and rightly so, because the West is trying to dismantle them. So the issue with Trump, I think Trump doesn't want the administration to secure peace, is similar to why he doesn't want the border bill to go through. Yeah, he wants it to be his Gaza rebuild. He wants to. Which show was he on? Which interview was that? Does anybody remember? It's weird because it makes you think, well, I think probably Elon gave him the Oasis one, and that makes me uncomfortable because, what would they do with the Oasis one? It certainly isn't probably my vision of Oasis one. So, oh my God, they've got pictures of Sinwar dead, and I just looked at it. Yeah, I can't find the interview right now, but he basically, what Trump said was, yeah, it's some great real estate. I've got some great ideas for Gaza. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh God. What did you do? Did you give this wingnut the Oasis one? It's got nothing to do with me. It's like people think that I'm in on this. I'm not in on it. I have no control over the fact that he gave that wingnut a copy of the Oasis one, but that's probably what happened. Well. Bitcoin Musk. Well, it's not illegal to own Bitcoin. He can't, if he's shorting and stuff like that, again, I wonder how much, even if they felt like he was shorting it, they might be able to tax him. I don't see him going to jail. It doesn't rise to that occasion. It's more like he's going to have to play nice and pay his taxes and not have, look, he wants total freedom. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, did you guys see the latest on the Diddy parties? And did you hear that some of the victims are now coming forward and they're claiming that Denzel Washington was there, that people inside the Child Protective Services were being paid to transfer children, and Oprah Winfrey was a witness. What's disturbing about these stories is that these are the actual victims. This child that's come forward, who's in hiding right now, she gave a very compelling statements, and she claims that everybody was there. We'll go ahead and watch a couple minutes of this, and then we'll come around and we'll talk about it.
Friends SA'd at these rituals. She claims that she and other minors were used as party favors at these ritual parties. She also claims that many celebrities were there and even called out Denzel and Oprah.
Hi, my name is Allison Carter. My mom's name is Shelly Carter. In 2021, we did a live interview with Maria Z. We went viral in 2020. Today is September
23rd.
23rd?
Yes, it's the 23rd.
23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, September 23rd, 2024.
This is super recent.
I went into foster care at 13, 14. We tried to do a case against Riverside County Child Protective Services because Riverside County, do you hear me? Riverside County Child Protective Services was involved in my trafficking.
Yo.
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested. And I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. All right? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit. And I've been hiding. My mom and I have been hiding. We've had our head down. We've tried to back up. We even tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time.
Though, hey, the kids they were talking about that were missing from Hawaii, that just stopped. That's what I'm saying. It's like this is bigger than Diddy now. That's why I keep watching these videos, because I want to know who else is involved, you know?
Yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual. Get it straight. It wasn't just adults in these parties. The adults were responsible for the child sex slaves that were in the party. And one of those children were me. Now, those who are trying to come at us now, talking like, oh, well, now the Diddy's out, now that you can talk. For why? Because we tried to have a case with Child Protective Services. We gave them 8 months worth of evidence.
Damn.
8 months worth of evidence. That didn't even do a crumb. They took that case and they hid it. If you are a survivor and if you are a real victim, be careful. Because these hotline numbers that they're putting out, I don't trust them. I wouldn't do it.
They take your information to see what you have.
They're taking
And
inventory.
then they shut it down. They're taking inventory. So don't trust them. Don't trust the feds. Don't trust the judges. You're all guilty. You're all corrupt.
Some of y'all are sitting pretty, trying.
That's another thing too that's extremely hard is who do you trust? Because how high up does this go? Who are they trying to protect? Who the hell do you trust? That's what I said with that lawyer that said 30 days. I'm hoping everything, because dang, she said 8 months. Oh my goodness.
To make the excuse of, oh, well, they were so evil, I was just trying to be undercover. See all the people running? They're ducking and hiding because everybody knows that there was children there. But we're still not talking about the kids yet. When are we going to talk about the kids? Everybody's demanding something from the victims. Why aren't you demanding it from the news? You know he's about to turn into another Epstein, and then the list follows, and it circles back into a web. So why isn't anybody demanding any information on the kids? Huh?
Where'd that supply chain come from?
Do you think that thousands of bottles worth of baby oil was for thousands of who? $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza was for who? Trafficking over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody going to talk about that?
Damn, dude.
Where do you think all those kids are going? Because everybody that you love, you don't live in the world you think you do. Everybody that you think is not guilty is about to show you who they really are. I've been screaming for years. Right now, with other people who are running to cover their ass and deleting their social medias, Pink, Megan Fox, Tyra Banks, Steve Harvey.
Oh.
Why you running? You know what a part of me feels like? You know what? Good, run. Because then you get to see how it feels to have to jump and throw everything that you give a damn about away for 2 seconds. Get a moment of peace for not a damn moment. Not a moment of peace. You take it and you run with it because you're happy about the peace. But then you see how it feels when they get when they get shaky. You see how it feels when the world is a little quiet, like, oh, my superstar, my idol. What about the victims? Our PTSD lives on every damn day that they did what they did. But it's only talked about when it's trending. We got legal evidence to drop. I just don't know what's the point. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party. I was one of the party favors.
That's crazy.
But I told you, nobody tells on Diddy. Maria Z, I did that interview in 2021, 7 months ago. We made sure, I already knew that Diddy and Oprah is about to get arrested. I already knew that 7-8 months ago. We went and made sure there were sworn documents. We have them. When we went to Colorado for the A to Z event, we had a lot of legal evidence that we made sure we already had because we knew a list of people were about to get got. You can't run for that long. I'm just shocked we're finally seeing the day. So thank you so much for listening. We got to go and tie up some things and then we'll be back. But we got to move because we don't want to be sitting ducks. Not that that does anything. It just disturbs our people. There are too many victims. Victims that you don't even know their name. Victims that you'll never hear their laugh. Victims that you'll never know who the hell they were because everybody was so busy bouncing to their music. Didn't I tell you? Music is a diary. Are you now figuring that out? Do you understand that their music is their diary? All these rappers, they're telling you what they did. The music, it's telling you what they did. The comedy and the...
I said that. A lot of them be dry snitching on themselves. But a lot of people be too busy dancing to the beat. Oh, man.
Art is a reflection of life. I got a reflection of life for you.
Let's be clear. You federal prosecutors, you have video surveillance from Diddy's house from 2008. Look in that 2008, 2010 span. You'll find her video there.
Dang.
You want to send it? Send it over? She'll say, yeah, that's me. Then you can do what you can do. But otherwise, we're not messing with you. I don't trust none of y'all.
Everybody, no, not that black man. No, that can't be true. No, he can't be having satanic rituals. No, there's no way. Yeah, there is. And now you see. So now what you gonna do about it? Still, here we are. With everybody, I want evidence, I want evidence. You got it. Now what you gonna do?
Those parties involve children. The media is making it sound
They
like
don't just involve children. They involve animals.
Oh.
The adults who are swearing up and down, I left at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You
You're
shouldn't have been there.
disgusting.
And on top of that, if you knew that there were children coming in after a certain hour, why the hell didn't you say anything until right now?
Coward.
All these people, I knew he was crazy. So you guilty. I told you everybody guilty.
That's what I said.
You're guilty. I don't care who it is that's saying, I left at 1 o'clock in the morning. Because why? Because why? You covered your ass.
Denzel, you a damn liar. Lecrae, you a damn liar.
And now we gonna delete like tweets like that's gonna help anybody?
As
Any opinions about that? Anybody think that she's making it up, that it's not the truth, that this couldn't be real? This is what I was saying to people who talk about, well, I saw this trial. You did not see the Johnny Depp trial. I'm sorry, honey, you didn't. If you saw the Johnny Depp trial, you saw it on YouTube, and that was a Dan Abrams production, and it was paid for by Johnny Depp. And the people hired to be reporters covering the Johnny Depp trial were not reporters. They were actors hired, and the money was traced back to Adam Waldman. Adam Waldman is the same person that took out Hillary Clinton. It's all fake. It was the only way to see the trial is you saw it on YouTube. And the only way that you saw it covered was because they ran advertisements. Adam Waldman did. Adam Waldman, who was meeting with Julian Assad multiple times to take out Hillary Clinton. That Adam Waldman, that's Johnny Depp's attorney. Well, he was the one that advertised on YouTube for you to watch Dan Abrams' production of the trial. And then Dan Abrams used that money to hire actors to pretend that they were reporters covering the trial. And they threw it to Johnny and twisted everything in the trial to make it look like Amber was guilty. And there's plenty of proof that this is true. His business associate went missing, I got a lot of evidence on Johnny Depp, you guys. The real trial of Johnny Depp, you didn't see the real trial. The real trial took place in Britain, and he was found guilty because he confessed under oath to beating her. And then he used his money to hide the evidence when he was found guilty in Britain. That was the real trial. So he was also meeting with Sheikh Salman, the man accused of beating his wife. She had to, the daughter of the Queen of Jordan, she had to flee with her children. She got something like a $500 million settlement. That's the guy that was helping Johnny Depp. I've done so much research on it. Johnny Depp, there were so many drugs, and he was accused also of possibly stealing money from the Viper Room. People got beat up at the Viper Room. The overdose of River Phoenix. And then when River Phoenix was dying, he threw him out on the streets to die. Don't believe if you think somebody's a nice guy, I'm telling you, it's all coming out. It's all coming. You did not see the trial, honey. Trust me. Trust me, sweetheart. You did not see the trial. No. You saw Dan Abrams' production. Dan Abrams is a Republican. Emily, whatever her last name is a friend of Dan Abrams. And you had her covering Dan Abrams reporting, and he hired all the reporters, and the money was traced back to Adam Waldman, which was Depp's attorney, also Julian Assange's guy, who was putting out all the fake information on Hillary Clinton. It's all connected. This is the real Hollywood. That's what I was telling people. This is the real Hollywood. This is the real trial happened in Britain. That was the real trial. You didn't find out about it because Johnny Depp has used his money and power to bury everything about it, including the documentary that was made, which exposed his confession to beating her. Everything came out in the real trial that happened in Britain. Don't believe these. You don't get to be that famous unless you've done deals, unless at the very least, it's like the girl says in the video, why did you leave? Denzel Washington claims, oh, well, I left at 1 a.m. Well, this, according to this girl, no, you don't. You were there. You were one of the people that raped me. Oprah was there. I saw her. You know, these are well-crafted personalities. And so we believe the smoke and mirrors, and then the truth comes out. So this is the time when we can no longer hide the truth. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody has a camera. Everyone's taking pictures. Everybody's, don't do anything in private you can't admit to in public, because the truth always will come out. It used to not come out. They used to be able to bury this stuff back in the 30s and 40s and 50s. You just sounded like a crazy person when you would come out and say this stuff. But now it's all fake. I think it's impossible to be that powerful in Hollywood and not have some kind of corruption behind you. It's just so sad. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anybody have any feedback for me? What do you feel about what you've heard? Dan Abrams. Oh, yes. Our man in Moscow. I call him our man in Moscow. Let's see. Let me see if I have a, because what he did isn't really, it's not, his crime TV it's not real. None of this stuff is real. It's a fake show. And even the people that were there with the microphone, she lied. You think that they're real reporters. No, they were actors hired by Dan Abrams, a Republican, with Emily, whatever her name is, who's a friend of his, and, throw it to Depp. And you're watching a Dan Abrams production because it was so sick. The whole thing was sick, and people outside applauding, and oh my God, the whole thing was so sick. No, the real trial happened in Britain. And a hell of a great prosecutor, too. It was a female prosecutor, and she was able to get him on the witness stand and get him to confess. You hit her, you headbutted her, and then you did and got him to confess everything. And then he was found guilty because he confessed under oath in a real trial that happened in Britain. So, it's Hollywood. It's smoke and mirrors. He wanted total humiliation of his ex-girlfriend because she had left him, and he was willing. He's worth $500 million. He has 2 islands, and so he was radioactive. He wanted, because of what had happened, he was willing to do anything to, when he was found guilty in the real trial in Britain, he was willing to do anything to cover it up. This is the real article. This is real this is real investigative reporting. And they basically burned the witch. There's a lot of crazy stuff with Depp. His business associate, who evidently accused him of cooking the books and possibly stealing, went missing. Nobody knows what happened to him. The guy that was his business partner, they found his car. Here's Adam Waldman to the left. This is Adam Waldman. This is the guy that worked with Julian Assange to take out Hillary Clinton. And so that was the guy he hired. And he took, these are, he was associated also with domestic violence. There were other women, Vanessa Paradis, the mother of his 2 children, also domestic violence allegations. He's a violent guy. He's a violent drug addict. He was a violent drug addict. But look at how much money he had. He made $10.2 billion in the industry, so they didn't want to get rid of him. So, if somebody's bringing in $10.2 billion, then they're going to spend money cleaning him up and putting up a fake trial with fake reporters and everything fake, engineered. These are all the women he beat, who saw him beat the crap out of people. But this guy here is one of the most evil people on the planet, Adam Waldman. He is the person. When I made contact with his energy, I said, this is it. This is the snake. This is the snake. This is the guy that took out Hillary Clinton. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. And bin Salman was the person that, these were the people that were beating the crap out of their wives. Bin Salman, he met Adam Waldman on a yacht. I've done a lot of research on this because I'm connected with the energy. And they got together on the yacht, and that was where he met Adam Waldman. It was the prince that arranged his meeting with Waldman to set the whole thing up. This is Vanity Fair expose. These are really good reporting. So my point is this: you think you've seen something, you're 100% convinced, but it's real, it's real, it's real. And I'm telling you, it's not real. You only think it's real, but it's not real. We always think it's real, right? We always want to believe the best of people. We don't want to believe that our idols are drug addicts that are beating the crap out of people, that are meeting with the Saudis to plan to, take somebody out. It's very sad, because some of these people are really talented, and see if I can get him on the yacht. They actually were photographs of him getting on his yacht. Yeah, so they got on the yacht together, and there were images of him meeting on his yacht. They all yacht together, right? So it's a script. It's just a script. I mean, I was pretty upset when I saw that CPS was that involved. I know that the LAPD was taking money from people like Bill Cosby. There were people that were going to the LAPD saying that they had been drugged and raped by Bill Cosby, and the LAPD refused to do anything about it. So what do you do when the police are corrupted, or when they've been bribed, or when they've been paid to be silent? You know, what power does the victim have? The only thing you can do at that point is you can go to legitimate reporters and like Rowan Farrow and hope that the story comes out. All right. Thank you, everybody. That was kind of a bummer way to end the show. I want to thank everybody for hanging with us. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find the information in the channel description. Yeah, I know it's sad. It's you know, be grateful that you're not a part of this. Be grateful that you and I are just regular people. There's nothing there for us to admire. There's nothing there for us that, you know, we don't need to be a part of that. Just be a good person, have a decent job, and be an ethical person, and don't envy celebrity. Don't envy celebrity, right? All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.